Graphics softwares. Now, graphics softwares are used for processing digital graphical illustrations. So, whenever we need to perform an activity that is related to graphics, especially if we want to develop a canvas, if we want to create a banner, digital banner, if we want to create design a photo, if we want to create a new develop, or if we want to filter or apply some sort of another interesting component, like if we want to change the brightness, if we want to change the contrast, and lot of, like, if you have used Photoshop, there are hundreds of functionalities are there, like we can add filters, lot of things we can apply. So these are graphic softwares. We can perform graphical activities, lot of graphical activities are related to images, so it requires high processing, that's common. So if you are using a graphical software, it might require some sort of additional space from your additional energy from your CPU. So that's normal. So my recommendation is minimize using these graphic softwares. If that is only required, keep it in your computer. If not, you may uninstall that graphic software, because as per my experience, it's getting your laptop or desktop to be slow. But it's, if it is your job, yes, you, if it is your uh, earning point, then it's mandatory, right? So you have to use graphic software unless it's minimize it. But somehow the common case, graphic softwares are for digital graphical processing. Software suites. So, what's a software suite? Commonly known as a collection of softwares. So, you may have heard act as a collection of software packages distributed as by organization. Like Adobe provides a set of tools as inbuilt package, a set of tools, CS pack. It installed with Photoshop, Illustrator, and lot more. In the same way, Office shipped with a set of software utilities, Word, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, kind of things are there. So you may realize software suite, it's a collection of softwares. So it's a it's packed not as a single, it's packed as a collection. So some companies are delivering like that. Now there are some advantages and disadvantages both. Some, but somehow you have to understand according to the situation. Like if you are using all graphics, so you may use a pack. It might be advantage for you. If you are using separated things, then you can use separated softwares. It's okay. If you want to use only Microsoft Word, Microsoft offers it, then we can download it and use it. But if you are purchasing a pack that has more advantages, and sometimes there might be some softwares that you are not using all the time, that's one of disadvantage. But we have to find out, or we have to mitigate these issues. It's okay. We have to follow up. We have to follow what are the advantages and disadvantages, and we have to take the suitable decision. Now, next point that I want to discuss is software development tools. One software development tool, one of major or most important or valuable software development tool is known as Integrated Development Environment, or IDE. An integrated development environment (IDE) is software for building applications that combines common developer tools into single graphical user interface. So you may, if you really interested, you can prefer more from this link. I have given the link in here. So what's the purpose of this IDE is source code editor, and it's a debugger. So it has lot of functionalities integrated to a single software package. So software development under software development without an IDE, you may unable to perform proper software development activity. That's the case, especially if you are a software developer or software engineer or mobile application developer or a web application developer, whoever. If it is related to source codes, if you are using, if your job role is related to software engineering or application engineering or whatever related to source code, that means you can't live a without an IDE. So IDE used to code. While we are performing coding, we required lot of activities. We want to debug it. We want to modify something. We want to change, edit, and we want to run it. And there are a lot more sophisticated mechanisms like additional plugins, support for a lot of things. And there are a lot of activities we can do like beautify, uglify. Everything can be performed very easily by using an integrated development environment or an IDE. Commonly like Eclipse for Java development, and we can see VS Code, Visual Studio Code. It's one of very popular IDE, and another IDE is like and these IDEs are very important. Right now, you are clear why what is a software development tool towards an IDE. So I will show you a small demonstration on IDE. I'll show the overviews. First of all, I'll show you Visual Studio Code. So I have installed my Visual Studio Code in here. So if you type VS Code, you may get the Visual Studio Code. This is the Visual Studio Code. Then you click it. Once you click it, it will load your IDE Visual Studio Code. So this is uh, this is an IDE. So if you want to create a new file, we can simply create a new file. Then I'm going to save it desktop as just I can see lot of whole lot of extensions are there. We can develop by using this IDE lot of things, lot of programming languages are involved. I'll use Python in here, then I'll save, then I'll type print hi. So this is just a simple source code or simple code that I have developed. Then since I have used this IDE, I can just use this button, then click it, then I can open my terminal and get the output. So if you have used Python launcher, you may realize it's not easy. It's really hard, right? So you can see the output is here, very simply. So this is Visual Studio Code IDE. So you can do a lot of coding activities. You may see create new terminals, and if you want to combine with the create a Jupyter notebook, or if you want to initialize the Git, and you can push the repositories in the same way. If you want some advanced features like Docker, everything is inbuilt. like not inbuilt, like plugins are there. It's built with my package, with my IDE. So I can use my IDE and perform everything in one single place. So this is very interesting part you may learn further. I'll demonstrate another thing, Eclipse. Eclipse also another IDE. So I'll show the GUI and basic things related to Eclipse also. Eclipse is mainly using by Java developers, but Python is using lot web developers, Python developers, even Java developers can involve with Visual Studio Code. But majority of the cases, still Eclipse is in the top. There are paid IDEs also. If you are using paid IDE, you may get some sort of additional sophisticated features too. Uh, these are these both of these are freely available. You will download it without any issue. You can use these two softwares. Very simple. These IDs. But somehow, what I want to explain here is what's an IDE and why we required an IDE, and what are the things we can perform by using an IDE. So I believe that you are clear about what's an IDE. Somehow this Eclipse is getting loading a little bit slower. We'll move to the next slide while it's loading. I'll close my Visual Studio Code since it's not worth for now. The next point that I want to discuss here is database management softwares. So, what's a database? What's a database? Database is nothing. It's just a location that store your data. In simple means it's more than enough. It's a database. Right? So, under database management softwares, mainly focusing on data management tasks, and you may see DBMS, database management systems, to perform these database management tasks. These are included create, store, update, delete, and you can assign roles, you can delete roles, user roles. User roles means with the privileges. Privileges means what you can do for this database. That kind of things are there. You may learn database more deeply in near future, but somehow for now, what should you know is a database management software is a software that can work or that can use to create, manage, create, update, delete, and some kind of like data related stuff, as well as administrative part also there. That means we can assign different roles. Like as an example, if we want to make someone to only view the code, not to modify, we can assign it the data. We can assign some roles to view only special views. Special view means special part of the database. We'll get an example. If we have a large database, it consists of different data, student information, student marks, payments, and other stuff also there. So what I'm speaking here is view. View means for a teacher, for a lecturer, or some another external party contractor do not need to know whether you have paid or not for this semester. At that case, we can hide that information and we can allow that specific required or specifically required details to only for that person. The teacher uh, is okay with your payments, so no need to worry about that data. But your administrative, your financial department, they required your payments. They don't care about much about your other instruments. Lecturers just care about your marks, your attendance, and other stuff, right? So these views can be, these are the different views in the database. We can assign these uh, views according to different situation or different requirements we can assign. So these are the activities that we can do by using a database management system. And what you have to understand is database management software is a software that can use to manage data, not only data but also related to related information related to the data, right? So I told about these roles and to grant access store in the database.